Deal with Will TV, welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, I'd like to welcome you as well. Hey, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you like content like this, because I have a feeling that you will. This episode is going to be absolutely insane. Go ahead and strap up your britches, tighten your shoelaces, whatever you got to do, and grab a seat. This kid tells his story of the why and how in which he got divorced at the young age of 22, by the way. Now, before we even get into the video, let's do something fun. Let's guess why he got divorced. I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. Let me know down in the comments what your guesses are. Without further ado, let's jump right into it.
This is how I became divorced at 22 years old. This is going to be very simplified. I would rather undershare than overshare. I have reached out to members, friends and family members, both myself and my ex-wife, to find the best way to do this. And we all pretty much came to the same conclusion of do not share more than is needed. But if at some point I feel the need to elaborate, I might do that. There might be longer versions of this with breakdowns and parts, but let's get into it. Okay, so I got married May 17th of this year. And shortly before that, my wife or ex-wife started a new job.
Wait, so not only did he get divorced at 22, but he got divorced like very shortly after. He said he got married May 17th of this year.
And that's important to know. So we end up moving into our apartment together in mid-July. I believe it was July 16th. Between the married, when we got married and that time, we were living with my
So to set the timeline, this is 2 months after they get married, they move into the apartment.
Parents. So we move in about 2 weeks after that. My wife has just a breakdown, comes in my office, has a breakdown about, I feel like we might have rushed into this. We did things too soon, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't like we need to split. It was just, I'm freaking out. So, okay, let's talk through it. And about a week later, she apologizes, says, hey, I think I was just having kind of a mental breakdown. I'm like, hey, that's fine. I get it. It's scary times. I had a freak out. I think it was like the 3rd night that we were staying in the apartment, just about missing my family. So some time goes on.
But did he really though? Define your version of your freak out compared to hers. I'm sure it's a little bit different.
And now we're in August and there's another freak out. And it's
3 months into the marriage, I believe 1 month into the apartment.
We rush into this, blah, blah, blah. Well, we meet with our premarital counselor. Well, our counselors, I guess. But they did our premarital counseling. We talked through and they're like, hey, this is super common.
What's the one thing that can destroy a relationship, even with the backing of counseling and therapy? You let me know down in the comments.
I see this in young married couples all the time. Let's, set some expectations for one another just so you guys can help each other out. And we did. And, I think in my head, things are going great. Okay, so Monday, September 15th rolls around, and I leave work a little early. She tells me that she wants me to come home so we can talk. And so we go home, or I go home, and I get there, and she's like, hey, I'm not ready to talk just yet. Go play the game. So I'm like, okay, I play the game for an hour. Go back in. Hey, I'm not ready to talk just yet. Go play the game. Okay, go back in for an hour. Whatever. So basically she tells me, hey, I don't know. I don't want to talk about this. I think that it's just not worth talking about. And me being an anxious person, I'm like, well, is it something small, or is it something like you want to move out?
Don't just leave me on that cliffhanger like, hey, when you get home from work, we need to talk. And then when I get home, no, actually, I don't want to talk about it right now. I come back 3 more times and you still say you don't want to talk about it. You're going to lead me to believe the worst after that, okay?
And she's just kind of like, I don't really know. I don't know. I feel like, there's just so many things happen so quick, and I don't know. Well, either way, we talked through things a little bit. I think she can tell that I'm upset. She could tell that I was upset, so she just kind of dialed back. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know where her mind space is or head space is in any of this. Well, the following Saturday rolls around. Everything's all hunky-dory for me. I go out with my buddy. We put out some bags of corn and stuff. And then I get home. She's like, hey, when are you going to be home? I tell her, and she's like, okay, great. I'm going to take a shower. I'll see you when you get home. Well, I get home. She got her bags packed. Hey, I'm going to stay with my mom. I need some space away. I might be back Wednesday. I don't know. Can we talk? Nope. Gone. Out the door. Gone. Poof. Gone. No contact that Sunday, that Monday. Then Tuesday night, I finally call her. Now, mind you, in between this, I'm over at my best friend's house. I don't know what's going on. I'm freaking out. And I say no contact. There were a couple texts sent. Well, she also goes over there and is with him and his girlfriend and just talking to them. And it's, they're trying to figure out what's going on. And they're asking the questions. Hey, is there anything going on? There might be calls in. Is there anything, She's like, no, nothing. Well, so Tuesday night I call her. And this is now, let me get the date. Yeah, so Tuesday, the 23rd of September, I call her and things seem well. And I'm like, hey, do you want to go out tomorrow? She's like, yeah. So her and I go out. We have a great dinner. And she tells me, like, look, I've decided I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to run away. Like, we're going to work on this together. I can't leave you. I don't want to leave you. I'm not going to leave.
And that's all good and everything. Like, thanks, babe. I'm glad you're willing to work through this with me, like this imaginary problem. But first, what was it the other day that you wanted to tell me? Like, we cannot go forward in this relationship until we first get that understood, right?
Awesome. But you need to do this and this and this and this and this.
Because she knows this is a good guy. And she knows that this guy will bend over backwards for her. So instead of going back to the conversation she was too much of a coward to talk about, she says, you know what, we can work on this, but in order for us to work on it, you need to do this, this, and this. Typical.
Everything's been fairly normal for me up to this point, up until her leaving. So thing number one was therapy. So I put myself in therapy. I get couples therapy for the two of us. I'm paying out the butt for it, but whatever. This is necessary, whatever means. She's like, I'm not ready to move back in yet, but we'll see. So we have our first therapy session.
We'll see. We're married. What do you mean you're not ready to come back home?
Session that following Sunday, and just to kind of collapse all this down. Eventually, after like a week or so, she moves back in. Things are going great. I'm cooking dinner every single night. Right? She did almost nothing around the apartment, and I would complain about that because it's like, but I was like, you know what? I don't care. Cooking, cleaning, everything, laundry, everything. I'm doing everything, right? I like made up her closet for her and stuff and whatever. I'm just like, I'm trying to show her whatever it is that you need, I'm going to do. And I just start working on myself and start trying to be, the best husband that I could possibly be. And it's stuff that I should have been doing beforehand, but it's like, this is my first time. I'm a kid. Well, 3 weeks go by. Let me go back to my text to figure out the date. So mind you, during this time too, she's like trying to get me to buy her a new car and like a gaming PC, and we're coming to all the. I mean, it's amazing. It seemed like the most perfect marriage. Well, Sunday.
What could have possibly been perfect about this marriage? It sounds like even now he's kidding himself. She was gaslighting you, mistreating you, leaving for days on end to go stay with her mom while also not texting you. And now she's asking for a new vehicle and a new gaming PC. And you're like, everything's hunky dory.
October 12th rolls around and things have been going great. We have our therapy session and the therapist is like, guys, I think we made a breakthrough. And we're laughing, giggling, whatever. Well, therapy session ends. She looks at me, hey, I'm dropping out of nursing school. When did you make that decision? She's like, last week. It's like, okay, all right. I support you. That's a big decision.
And it's great to support your partner. But decisions like dropping out of school, decisions that will have such a deep impact on the household should not be made by one partner alone. And God forbid if this guy was helping to pay for that school, oh, hell no.
That gives us more time to spend together, I guess, work through these things. Breakdown, anxiety, full on, just freaking out. My jump to is, hey, let's pray. She doesn't want to.
What a good guy.
Jumps in the shower. She's free. I can't do this. I thought I could, whatever. And I'm like, hey, let's get in the car. Because car rides always calmed her down. Let's get in the car and ride around. In the car. I've been lying to you. I've been doing X, Y.
Oh, here it is.
And I go, have you been cheating? And she looks at me. Yeah.
Dang.
I asked you in the beginning of this video, what did you think that it was that caused this divorce? I knew 1 minute into watching this video originally that most likely it was from her cheating.
With who? It's her boss.
Dang.
That's nasty work.
So yeah. So she says that. And, I've always been a very emotional person, but in that moment, I couldn't cry. I couldn't get angry. All I could do was drive. And in my head, I'm just praying while listening and trying to talk. And basically, she says, I find out over time that she had started emotionally cheating, which let's just call it what it is. She started cheating 2 weeks after we moved into our.
She was too much of a coward to have the initial conversation. Do you think that she was just emotionally cheating with this guy? Do you really believe that? I know you want to believe that, but I think we all know, everybody who's watching this video knows, she was getting that behind busted up, all right?
Apartment. So mind you, this is 2 months after we get married.
Wow.
And that, if we do the timeline here, that's when the first freak out happened, when she came into my office. And then apparently it was just that. And then towards the time of the second freak out, before she moved out, was when they had started making plans to be physical. And then during the time between that freak out and her moving out is when they actually did have a level of physical relation. And then, mind you, this all comes out the day before I'm supposed to hop on a flight for a promotion that I just received. And she tells me that this has been going on, that it's most likely going to continue going on.
At one point, she was too scared to even tell him what was really going on. Now she's so bold because she realizes the manner of man he is, that he's not really going to do anything about it. So now she's really puffed her chest out.
My affair with my boss.
Crazy.
It's been going on, and I'm going to keep it going on.
Crazy work.
This is 2 months into getting married. And I'll be honest with you. He said he's 22 years old. I could tell you right now, at 22 years old, me in that situation, crashing out. Yeah,
I have to agree with him. This guy has an incredible amount of self-control, and he's actually very mature for only 22 years old. I have to give him props.
Crashing out.
Because eventually I do start crying, of course. I'll just tell you guys, laughing at my crying, because eventually I do start crying, of course. She's like, look, let's go back to the apartment. Chill out there. And I'm like, okay. We get back to the apartment. She's like, look, I need to call him. Mind you, I'm falling apart. Look, I need to call him. I need to make sure he's okay.
So he eventually started crying on that car drive whenever he learned that she was cheating. She begins to laugh at him eventually for breaking down, for crying. They get home, and then she has the gall to say, I need to call him, my boss, to make sure that he's okay. The boldness of this woman.
Flight. And so I get like 2 hours of sleep, wake up, get on a flight, and absolutely bomb, do terrible, right? Because how could you do well? And during this week, while I'm gone, all I'm thinking of is, okay, how am I going to fix this? I don't know how I'm going to fix it. How do you forgive? Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. And wow, God is good. Because though I didn't fix it, he kept me functioning better than I would have without him.
Shout out to him. But let's just be honest, guys. If you or your partner have cheated on each other, there's like a 0.0001% chance that you guys are going to be able to get past it. The best thing to do, God forbid that situation ever happens, but if it does, you have to leave. Pack your clothes, pack our clothes, and move on. I know it's difficult. I know it's going to hurt. It's going to rip every fiber of your being to do it, especially if you love that person, but it must be done. The quicker you can move on with your life, the sooner you can find someone out there who might actually be for you, because people who treat you like this, they must hate you.
And yeah, so then I get back. She ends up actually picking me up from the airport that Thursday night. We hang out. She drives me back to the apartment, goes and stays at her mom's. Friday morning, wake up, we go on a date. It's great. We're having a good time.
I would be suspicious of any of that. And to be honest, if you're trying to work this out, ain't no more spending the night anywhere for a long time. Not until we can build that trust up again. Let me know down in the comments if you think she really went to go spend the night with her mom. Yeah, right.
It's a little weird, but we're having a good time. Well, eventually we go back to the apartment. She falls asleep. I go through her phone, and it is her and him dogging on me, talking about how she's going to stay on my good side so she can get things from me and all sorts of terrible stuff. And so I'm like, hey, wake up, let's go. And she's like, oh my gosh, did you go through my phone? I'm like, yeah, I did.
I've had about as much as I can take of that situation. It's given me flashbacks. I've been through circumstances very similar. However, I've never been married, thank God, because I couldn't even imagine all the legal proceedings that have to take place after. When you're just boyfriend and girlfriend, you can get up and leave. He does go on to get a divorce from the woman, and he tries to fight her on that because if you couldn't tell, he is a Christian. He believed that it was part of his vow to God to stay married to this woman, and I have a lot of respect for him for that. But my brother, she gave you an out by cheating on you. Like, this woman doesn't love nor respect you. Covenant broken. This is one of the more crazy stories I've ever seen. Obviously, on the internet, we see stories of people cheating on each other all the time. But to get married at 22, to trust God with all your heart, mind, soul, do the right thing on paper, getting married before having sex, and then it blow up in your face like this is absolutely nuts. And it's very unfortunate. This is the one thing that the church teaches that I'm just not all the way on board with. Like, sure, in a perfect world, you court a woman for a little while, you get married, everything is good, and then you ride off into the sunset. You have family and everything is all good, but a lot of times that's just not how life works. You have no experience, you've got really no emotional maturity or intelligence when it comes to things in the world that can go wrong. And all of a sudden you're paired up with this woman, this young woman, you're in an apartment together in your young 20s, and you find out she's cheating on you. But shout out to him for not crashing out. I can't say that I wouldn't have. I was insane back in my younger days. Thank God for therapy for myself. But guys, I'm curious to know if you've ever been through anything like this, heard of anything like this. Let me know down in the comments. This has been a good video. I've enjoyed it. And trust, guys, I will holler at you all very soon. Peace out.